If you're going to add detail onto clothing, it needs to actually add to the clothing. You don't add something onto clothing just for the sake of adding it onto clothing. All right, so you asked me about the washable leather, which I've had exclusively for many years, started in the 80s. I have the fabric made exclusively for me. No one else has it, no one else can get it. It's washable in a washing machine and dryable in a dryer. It's stronger than real leather, and yet looks so much like real leather, there's nothing like it. So I've been using that, since the 80s, including on Judas Priest, who basically have never worn real leather on stage. The stud designs, there was always studded clothing out there done by the punks had cone-shaped studs on a lot of the punk jackets. But the pyramid studs thing pretty much is a Judas Priest thing. Down to the heavy metal guitar strap, the pyramid studded belts with the 3 or 4 rows, that's all stuff from the very early 80s that I did for Priest, and it's just everywhere all over the world now, in every marketplace you can imagine. Anything you add to clothing needs to actually complement the clothing. It needs to be part of the design. Even the heavily studded stuff accents it. It doesn't become the garment. It's part of the garment, and it's there to enhance it. Up until 5 years ago, if you mentioned Judas Priest and studded clothing, they go, oh my God, that's really extreme. That's heavy metal. It's an extreme look. Well, now there's studded clothing everywhere, in every shop you can imagine. Burberry have done, I think, 3 or 4 collections, and they call it the rock and roll look of studded jackets, which if you look at them, they look like my Judas Priest clothing, very heavily studded jackets. And a lot of the stuff that's in the stores is basically just clothing with studs thrown on because studs are cool right now. Well, that's nonsense, okay? Anything you add to clothing needs to actually complement the clothing. It needs to be part of the design. Even the heavily studded stuff accents it. It doesn't become the garment. It's part of the garment, and it's there to enhance it.